So today, we are sitting in our sweats. We are just going to have this conversation that keeps coming up and keeps coming up, and I just feel like today I need to address it because there are way too many people in this world who just don't know how to deal with child loss. And I think it's about dang time we talk about it. So I make these videos on Instagram and TikTok where the title is, you know you're a bereaved mother when, fill in the blank. And there's this video that I posted this morning, and it was me bedazzling my daughter's pink tulle skirt in preparation of my daughter's 11th birthday, whom she is no longer with us. I have two more daughters that came after her, and one of our traditions every year, and I'm so blessed that I have a family that accepts me and accepts that I want to celebrate Gracie's birthday every year. I've never been more grateful than I was this morning when I got a message after posting this video. Just to give you a little backstory, my daughter Gracie was born in 2012 on August 2nd. She was born with a congenital heart defect, which we knew was the case when she was still inside my belly. When she was born, she had to have open heart surgery and be on all the medication, all the ticking and tacking and beeping machines, just everything, for 82 days. We loved her. We saw her. We got to know her and her spunky, sassy personality. We got to take photos of her and videos of her, and she had this way about her when you were like reading her stories or singing her songs, or just like, she would just stare. She would just stare at me. Like she was telling her own story to me. Like she was literally looking through my eyes and put this story in my head. I don't know how else to explain it, but like, she would just look at you and she would tell you stories. And her eyes would light up and she would just stare. You just stare. Maybe that was part of the drugs talking, but I like to think that that was just my Gracie being Gracie and showing her personality. And so after she passed away, my family and I went up to a very, very familiar place, a place I grew up, like right on the North Shore of Lake Superior. So breathtakingly beautiful. And it's been such a special place to me. I think I started going when I was 4 and have gone back every year. I had my honeymoon there. My grandparents had their honeymoon there. It's just such a special place. And there's this little town called Grand Marais, Minnesota, that is close to the Canadian border, just like, I don't know, maybe an hour or two away. And after her funeral, after she was gone, after being around so many people on such a hard day, I wanted to get away. I wanted to run away. I wanted to get away from people I knew, things I knew, the house that I knew, the bed that I knew. I wanted to get away from it all. And so my husband and I, after the funeral, we just left and went up to Grand Marais, Minnesota, We got some cheap hotel that ended up being great. Exactly what we needed. We did a lot of crying, we did a lot of sitting, we did a lot of talking about Gracie. We just did what we needed to do. And I also brought some of the ashes from Gracie's remains up with us, not knowing if I would want to disperse them somewhere, but I just took them with, because I honestly I wanted to have her with me, because that's all I had left of her, and a stuffed animal named Fern. And so we brought Fern, and we brought her remains, and we did end up putting some of her ashes out in Lake Superior at a very special spot that we found that was just calm and peaceful, and I don't know, it just felt Gracie there. And so we cremated her because she never got to leave the four walls of her hospital room her entire life. Unless you count like the emergency or like the operating room. That's really it. Was she stood in those four walls her whole life, and I wanted her to be cremated so that we could take her with us on adventures. We could spread her ashes in the places that we knew she would love, like Lake Superior, like I grew up loving. She's in the mountains in Arizona. She is in the ocean in Jamaica. I wanted her to be free. I wanted her, what's left of her little body, to just swim and fly. And so now on Gracie's birthday every year, we, as a family, my husband and I and my brother's family and my mom and dad, we all go up to Grand Marais, Minnesota on her birthday, August 2nd. And we all wear bright pink, or what we call Gracie pink, because her best color was pink. Anytime she had a bright pink blanket or a pink outfit or dress or headband, like anything pink, oh, it was her color. She just lit up in it, and hence as to why there's so much pink in my home. Pink is not my favorite color, which most people would probably guess that, but it's not. But it is a color that brings me the most emotion. But it's a feel-good color for me, and so I have a lot of it. So we wear this Gracie pink color on her birthday every year, and I, for whatever reason, her first birthday, I just made like this little video talking about her birthday and how we're celebrating it and how we were going to wear bright pink. And that year, hundreds and hundreds of people on Facebook posted pictures of themselves in pink, of their dogs in pink, of their, pink toenails, and just so many pink pictures. And it just, it brought so much joy in my heart, and it made me feel seen. It made me remember that, Gracie's story is important, and I'm not crazy for wanting to celebrate her birthday so publicly, because so many other people celebrated with us. So year after year after year, it was another pink theme and another pink theme, and I would make another pink cake and another pink cake with butterflies and hearts, and all these things. And a few years ago, I started seeing like pink flamingos like everywhere I went. And every time I saw one, it made me think of Gracie because it was like perfect pink. And it just, however, for whatever reason, it spoke to me, and it made me think of her, and it made me want to expand the theme that year into a flamingo theme. And so I made a flamingo cake, and we had blow up flamingos all over the yard, and flamingos stuck in the yard, and like all these flamingo lights, and it was all flamingo, and it was just such, it was so happy. And last year I asked the world to wear tie-dye and pink, and I posted it on TikTok for the first time ever, and the video did well. Let's see, it got 2.5 million views, 530,000 likes, 12,000 comments, 13,000 shares, and 46,000 saves. And people are still commenting on the video to this day, and I did not expect that. It was a pleasant surprise. It made me feel so seen, so loved, but also knowing that Gracie her story was being told, because her story is very important. My story is her story, and I guess that video had a pretty huge impact. Gracie's life had a pretty huge impact, and I got some nasty comments, some like real trolls out there. Some comments like, wow, she's crazy, she needs therapy, poor thing is going nuts, she is celebrating her dead kid's birthday. Or there were a few comments about my other children, my living children, that they felt so bad, so sad for my other children, because I talk about my dead daughter all the time, that I am neglecting them, or I am not being a good mother to them. And this is not the first time that somebody has called me a bad mother, because I talk about all three of my children, but I know these people are not parents. It's very obvious, and they have never dealt with a child's death. And so I have had to just tuck those away. Even though you can tell I'm still a little bit better about it, I have had to tuck them away and just know that, you know what, we're not on the same page. I don't know why they came upon my video, because the algorithm shouldn't have shown them that video. So why did they find my video? I don't know. Maybe they were just looking for somebody to pick on. But getting back to how I started this conversation, I got a message this morning after posting a video about how these themes for my daughter's birthday come to me. And there was a few people that asked on last year's video, like, why, she's so crazy, she thinks her daughter is whispering to her. Because I said something along the lines of, she whispered in my ear this theme of tie-dye. And no, she didn't physically, like, I didn't hear her in my ear, but I kept on seeing signs of the flamingos and signs of tie-dye, and it just felt right. It felt like, oh, my 10-year-old would totally be into tie-dye. And it just keeps popping up everywhere. Tie-dye, tie-dye, tie-dye. And I was like, I want to make a tie-dye cake. And so that's what I meant by like, oh, she whispered in my ear that she wanted tie-dye. Just clearing that up for those that, I don't know, aren't very much like me. I don't know how else to explain it. But I got this message this morning from a sweet friend that her Sam died. And she says, thank you. I get so much harassment from my family when I make a cake and when we celebrate Samuel on his birthday. They are always telling me he isn't even here to enjoy it and stop making it harder on yourself. My sweet Samuel has been gone for almost 10 years in November, and I miss him so much. Looking at other boys that would be around his age brings joy to my heart, knowing that's what he would be doing at this age. Thank you for sharing this, Becky. And she gave me permission to share Sam. Her own family harasses her, makes fun of her, tells her to stop celebrating her son, who was here, who did exist. I can't with some people. And like, they are always telling me he isn't even here to enjoy it, and stop making it harder on yourself. You know what would be harder is not saying his name, not talking about him, not celebrating his life and what he means to us. That would be the hardest thing. I made this video a year ago on Gracie's birthday talking about why is talking about our children so taboo, and why can't we celebrate them? Why is that such a strange thing? Why can't we normalize that? And it still peeves me that people are not accepting. Why can't I talk about my child who died, who was in my arms, who is still a part of me? Why can't I talk about them and you talk about your living child? It's not the same, but it's still my child. I can't understand where people are coming from. And if this is you, please help me understand, because I just don't. And what I want to say to my friend and her family is that she has every right to celebrate her child. And if you don't understand that, then don't talk about it. Don't be in my presence on that day. Don't call me on that day. Don't engage with me. Just stay in your lane, because I'm going to grieve and cope the way that I need to. Not for whatever makes you comfortable. I hurt so much for her because I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm one that is lucky enough to have a family that lets me celebrate Gracie and that does it with me. You know how rare that is? And how sad that makes me? What's a birthday? What's a definition of a birthday? Let's look this up on Google. What is a birthday? A birthday is the anniversary of the day on which a person was born. Typically treated as an occasion for celebration and the giving of gifts. The birthday cake. In another definition says the day of a person's birth. The anniversary of something starting or being founded. It's the day of my daughter's birth. It's the day of Sam's birth. Just like you get to celebrate your birthday, I get to celebrate my birthday. I sure as heck am gonna celebrate the day my daughter was born. The day I became a mom. That's it. Why wouldn't we celebrate that? This is not the first time that somebody has messaged me saying like my family is just not accepting of it, so we stop celebrating it, or we celebrate it in private, or we just buy a cake and we cut it, just my husband and I. We celebrate it alone because nobody else is accepting of it. I will always celebrate my daughter's birthday because she did exist, because she still exists. She's just lucky enough to have an eternal life with Jesus in heaven. And I just have to keep on sticking it out for my day to come, which is really hard without her here. And that's why I still need to say her name. I still need to talk about her. I still need to celebrate her. So yes, I'm going to put my daughter's pictures all over my house. I'm going to keep her picture on my home screen forever. I'm going to wear pink on August 2nd every single year. I am going to bake her birthday cake. I am going to go to Grandma Ray and visit her spot where I put her ashes in the water. I am still going to show up as her mom because that's all I know how to do. And if that's taken away from me, if family harass me about celebrating her so publicly, and you might as well take everything from me because that's all I have of them. That's all I have. I've talked about this so many times, and I try to make it more and more clear every time and stick up for myself and stand up and let it out and hope that the people that don't accept it would understand just a little bit more, so that there are less comments to those mamas that are so hurtful about their dead child. So I want to ask you today to share this video, share this podcast, especially if you have friends and family that are just, it's really hard to make them understand why you do this. And just share it. And hope that they see it. And hope that they can support you on your son or daughter's birthday next year. And the year after that, and the year after that. Just a simple text, just saying, hey, thinking about Gracie today, thinking about Sam today, thinking about you today. We'll know. We'll know. And it means the world. So, I am walking into Gracie's 11th birthday with a new theme for her big day and the same traditions. I just want to finish by saying that, you know, I don't come up with all these different themes every year by myself. God sends me signs that make me remember Gracie and make me think of her. And this year, with all these Barbie, like hot pink Barbie and sparkles and sequins and, you know, Taylor Swift, and oh, it just makes me keep thinking about Gracie. I'm like, Gracie would have so wanted me to take her to the Eras tour, and I so would have, and we would have dressed up to the nines in our glitter. Sign after sign after sign. I just knew that this year had to be bedazzled. It had to be glittery and sparkly and always pink. Whether you think that's crazy or maybe you're a Christian and you believe that God does send you signs, or you're a bereaved parent and you know exactly what I'm talking about when you see butterflies, when you see dragonflies, when you see an eagle. So many of my friends have different things that connect to their child, and we see them again and again and again and again, and I know you get it. If you don't get it, keep that to yourself. Just stay early. All right, friends. Thank you for listening to this. I know this is just like super casual, sit down like I'm in sweats. This real talk just really gets me riled up, and it gets me passionate, and gets me feeling like what I have to say is so important, and it is. I just hope that it helps someone else be brave enough to stick up for themselves, to stick up for their children when there are cases of harassment about our dead kids. Nobody likes a bully. Okay? Let us live our lives the only way we know how, with our child's memory. Okay? Thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a like if you're feeling empowered and strong and worthy, and this was exactly what you needed today. And hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any videos from me, and I will see you in the next video. Go spread some happiness.